is a machine gun that's light enough to be carried by a single infantryman, but which can still suppress by having a huge volume of ammunition at a very high rate of fire. The relentless rattle of gunfire echoed across the battlefield, reshaping warfare forever. But how did we get here? Machine guns, once unimaginable, became tools of devastation, leaving countless lives shattered in their wake. From the deadly trenches of World War I to the rise of the Kalashnikov, these weapons transformed soldiers into killing machines. But at what cost? What role did these guns play in some of history's darkest moments? And how have they evolved into modern instruments of destruction? Sit tight as we uncover the terrifying truth behind the dark history of machine guns. The birth of machine guns. From concept to reality. In the 19th century, the world was on the verge of significant changes. The idea of a machine gun was already taking shape in the minds of many curious inventors. Before the fully automatic machines we know today, there were several basic attempts to create rapid-fire weapons. Early prototypes were hand-cranked mechanisms that could fire multiple rounds quickly. One notable predecessor was Richard Gatling's Gatling gun, patented in 1862. This impressive device used a hand crank to rotate multiple barrels and achieve a higher rate of fire than single-shot rifles. While groundbreaking for its time, it had significant limitations. It was bulky, required manual operation, and wasn't truly automatic. With the emergence of Hiram Maxim came a breakthrough. Imagine a man with a mustache that could rival Hercule Poirot's and an insatiable curiosity for all things mechanical. Born in Maine, USA, Maxim moved to England where he would change warfare forever. In the 1880s, his relentless tinkering paid off when he invented the first fully automatic machine gun, aptly named the Maxim gun. How did Maxim achieve this engineering marvel? He harnessed the power of recoil energy. Unlike earlier models that relied on manual cranks or external power sources, the Maxim gun used the energy from each fired bullet to eject the spent cartridge and load a new one. This ingenious mechanism allowed for continuous firing with just a squeeze of the trigger, a game changer in every sense. Creating an automatic weapon wasn't easy. Inventors before Maxim faced numerous challenges. Early models often jammed or overheated. Also, finding a sustainable mechanism that didn't require human effort was tricky, and ensuring that bullets fed smoothly into the firing chamber posed another hurdle. Maxim's innovation addressed these issues head-on. By utilizing recoil energy for reloading and incorporating water cooling systems to prevent overheating, his design overcame many of these persistent problems. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Industrialization. The latter half of the 19th century saw massive technological advancements and mass production capabilities never seen before in history. This era provided fertile ground for innovative minds like Maxim's. The invention of machine guns waxed strongly, as precision machining techniques allowed for more reliable and complex mechanisms. Factories could now produce parts and assemble weapons at scales previously unimaginable. Meanwhile, new materials like stronger steel alloys enabled more durable designs. Industrialization didn't just make machine guns possible, it made them practical on battlefields around the world. Sequel to industrialization, a dark legacy began. Hiram Maxim's creation was nothing short of revolutionary, but also marked the start of a darker chapter in human history, where wars became deadlier than ever before. His machine gun showcased brutal efficiency that would eventually lead to widespread use in colonial conquests and major global conflicts alike. Hold on, this may look as easy as it sounds, but it faced some challenges. Early prototypes and challenges in development. Ever heard of the Gatling gun? Born out of the American Civil War era, this was one of the earliest attempts to create a rapid-fire weapon. The brainchild of Richard Gatling, It operated using a hand crank mechanism, which fed ammunition into its multiple rotating barrels. While groundbreaking for its time, it had its fair share of drawbacks. Imagine cranking a giant wheel to unleash a torrent of bullets. Sounds exciting, right? But this wasn't as practical on the battlefield as you might think. The Gatling gun required manual operation via a hand crank. This meant that its rate of fire was directly linked to human endurance and speed. Its weight wasn't left out. Weighing hundreds of pounds, transporting this machine across rough terrains was a logistical nightmare. Also, early models faced problems with reliable ammunition feeding. Jamming was not uncommon. Despite these limitations, the Gatling gun set a precedent. It showed the world that rapid-fire weaponry was not just a figment of imagination, but an achievable reality. As technology advanced and industrialization took hold, so did the ambition to automate weapons entirely. Then came John Browning and his ingenious contributions to firearms, including the Browning automatic rifle, BAR, which marked a significant leap forward. Unlike earlier models, the BAR was self-powered, utilizing gas-operated mechanisms that harnessed the energy from fired cartridges. While still relatively heavy, it could be carried by infantrymen, making it far more versatile. Another notable mention is the Colt M1895, affectionately nicknamed the Potato Digger. Designed by John Browning and Matthew S. Browning, this machine gun addressed several issues that plagued earlier models. It utilized excess gas from fired cartridges for cycling. It also featured a lever-actuated system that improved reliability, but earned its quirky nickname due to its distinctive digging motion when firing. Creating an automatic weapon wasn't just about innovating. It was about overcoming numerous hurdles that tested both patience and ingenuity. These early prototypes were notorious for their unreliability. Imagine being in the heat of battle, only for your state-of-the-art machine gun to jam. Engineers had to constantly tweak designs to ensure smoother operations under various conditions. Manual cranks were clearly outdated, but what would replace them? Gas-operated systems provided a solution by using the energy from fired rounds to cycle new ones into the chamber. Yet, perfecting these systems required an intricate understanding of ballistics and mechanical engineering. Feeding bullets into the chamber quickly and reliably was another big challenge. Early designs often used hopper-fed systems, but soon switched to belt-fed mechanisms for greater efficiency. Each innovation aimed at reducing jams and increasing firing rates without compromising safety or reliability. All these firing arms set the antecedents for machine guns and Maxim guns. Maxim guns' role in colonial warfare. The Maxim gun is capable of firing over 600 rounds per minute, and it unleashes unparalleled destruction. The introduction of the Maxim gun fundamentally altered military tactics and strategies. Traditional formations and cavalry charges became obsolete in the face of its devastating firepower. Armies had to rethink their battlefield approaches. Soldiers began digging trenches to protect themselves from relentless machine gun fire. Also, the need for heavy artillery to neutralize machine gun positions became paramount. This resulted in troops being trained to move in smaller, more agile units to minimize exposure. Imagine being a soldier witnessing this shift firsthand. One British officer described his experience during an early demonstration. It was like watching death on command. The enemy lines simply disappeared under a hailstorm of bullets. European powers quickly recognized the strategic advantage offered by the Maxim gun. Its deployment in colonial territories exemplified how military technology could be wielded for dominance. In Africa and Asia, where European nations sought control over vast resources and populations, the Maxim gun became an instrument of suppression. Notably, in 1898, during the Battle of Omdurman in Sudan, British forces equipped with Maxim guns faced off against Sudanese warriors, armed primarily with spears and swords. The outcome was tragically one-sided. This resulted in approximately 47 British casualties, and Sudanese casualties ranging from 10,000 to 12,000. The overwhelming disparity underscored not just technological superiority, but also raised profound ethical questions about such asymmetrical warfare. The brutal efficiency of machine guns like the Maxim gun sparked significant moral debates. Critics argued that these weapons dehumanized combat and led to unnecessary slaughter. Did technological advancement justify such levels of destruction? These early controversies laid the groundwork for ongoing discussions about the ethics of military technology. The use of machine guns in World War I. Imagine soldiers crouched in muddy trenches, the air heavy with tension and the distant sound of artillery. Then came the machine gun, a game changer that turned the battlefield into a grim assembly line of death. Firearms had reached a dark peak. World War I brought a major change in military tactics, mainly due to new weapons technology. Machine guns like the British Vickers and German MG-08 became symbols of this change. These weapons turned battlefields into hellish scenes, cutting down waves of soldiers with terrifying speed. World War I quickly turned into a war of wearing each other down. The term no man's land came into use, describing the deadly area between enemy trenches where few dared to go. Machine guns made any attempt to cross this empty space almost suicidal. Imagine soldiers moving forward, only to be met with a constant stream of bullets, each burst deciding their fate. Machine guns didn't just change how battles were fought, they completely redefined them. Before they were widely used, wars often involved moving and flanking maneuvers. With machine guns dug in on both sides, those tactics became useless overnight, leading to a shift towards more entrenched warfare strategies. Trenches became fortresses, offering some protection from enemy fire. Soldiers lived and fought in these narrow ditches for weeks or even months, adapting to the harsh realities of trench warfare. This empty strip was often filled with barbed wire, landmines, and the bodies of fallen comrades. To weaken enemy lines for attacks, artillery barrages aimed to destroy machine gun positions. But even these were often not enough to stop the deadly power of entrenched positions. Two battles stand out as grim proof of the devastating power of machine guns: the Battle of the Somme and the Battle of Verdun. In July 1916, British and French forces launched an attack against German positions along the Somme River. What was meant as a breakthrough instead became one of history's bloodiest military engagements. On the first day alone, British forces suffered about 57,000 casualties, a shocking number that shows how effective machine guns were. Machine gun nests wiped out advancing troops who found themselves trapped in no man's land, unable to retreat without facing certain death. Earlier that year, in February 1916, German forces started an assault on French positions around Verdun. This battle was all about wearing each other down. Lasting almost 10 months, Verdun saw over 700,000 casualties from both sides. Machine guns played a key role in holding defensive lines, leading to long stalemates and unimaginable loss of life. The rise of submachine guns. Submachine guns, developed from the harsh lessons of World War I, emerged as a solution to the heavy, cumbersome nature of early machine guns. The war had shown that while machine guns were devastatingly effective in static trench warfare, their sheer weight and bulkiness posed significant limitations on mobility. The answer was simpler, lighter, and astonishingly more versatile submachine gun. World War I's brutal battlefield experiences highlighted the urgent need for more portable automatic weapons. Soldiers needed firearms that could deliver rapid fire while maintaining agility in close-quarters combat. This necessity led to innovative designs like the Thompson submachine gun, affectionately known as the Tommy gun. Developed by John T. Thompson in 1918, the Tommy gun was a game-changer. It combined a compact frame with a high rate of fire, making it ideal for trench raids and urban warfare scenarios where maneuverability was crucial. Tommy gun boasts of 45 ACP caliber, firing approximately 600 to 725 rounds per minute. Its magazine capacity measures 20 or 30 round box magazines and 50 or 100 round drum magazines. While initially developed for military use, submachine guns found an unexpected new role during the Prohibition era in the United States. The same attributes that made them effective in war, portability and rapid fire, made them highly sought after by organized crime figures. Gangsters loved these weapons for their ability to unleash a hailstorm of bullets in seconds, which was perfect for drive-by shootings and intimidating rivals. This period cemented the submachine gun's place, not only in criminal lore, but also in popular culture. The Tommy gun became synonymous with mobsters like Al Capone during the Roaring Twenties, its rat-a-tat sound echoing through urban landscapes as gang wars erupted. Law enforcement quickly recognized the need to counteract these heavily armed criminals. Police departments began adopting submachine guns to level the playing field. The versatility and effectiveness of these weapons did not go unnoticed by military strategists either. During World War II, submachine guns proved invaluable once again. Allied forces utilized various models like the British Sten gun and the American M3 grease gun. The shift from criminal use to legitimate military application showcased the adaptability of submachine guns. Their lightweight design allowed soldiers to move swiftly, while delivering suppressive firepower, revolutionizing infantry tactics. By World War II's end, submachine guns had cemented their place in modern arsenals worldwide, a piece of evidence of their enduring utility